Hello students. We are in the last part of this poem, The Schoolboy, by William Blake, and we saw how the schoolboy is very much frustrated to go to school, and he is very much frustrated to be in the concrete way of education, okay? And he wants to enjoy, he wants to learn amidst the nature, okay? So we started the argue between how the classroom setting is built and how the nature is not able, he is not able to learn anything from the outside nature, okay? So yeah, in the last class we studied how the school boy has to sit for hours together in the classroom, and he might yes, it is said that you will be educated, you can acquire knowledge if you sit in the class, okay? But here the schoolboy says, I'm not able to find knowledge, I'm not able to find delight in the textbooks, okay, in the books which you have given to us, okay? And yes, I'm sitting in a cage, okay? I'm imprisoned behind the walls of school, okay? And we saw how the comparison is made between the birds and the human, okay? How birds, the singing bird, how even if it is caged, okay, the bird which is born to sing and enjoy and born for the joyfulness, if it is caged it cannot sing. Similarly, the boy, the schoolboy, or the children who are born to enjoy amidst nature, who are born to um, enjoy their life, okay? And because it is childhood, then it never comes back, okay? Once you pass certain age or pass certain period of time or pace, you will not be able to come back. So he says, if I am imprisoned inside the bars of the school, I'm not able to enjoy, I cannot flourish, I cannot bloom, okay? So that is what he's telling. And in the in the fifth paragraph, oh father and mother, so in that paragraph it is a slightly giving advice, the poet is slightly giving advice for the parents that if you nipped out, if you cut down the development of the child, and if you put him inside the bars, inside the cage, the child will not flourish, the child will not bloom, the child will not grow, okay? So yeah, so then we are in the last paragraph, so we shall see that, and we will just summarize the whole poem. Okay. How shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer fruits appear? Or how shall we gather what griefs destroy, or bless the mellowing year, when the blasts of winter appear? So he says, how can I be joyful? So now the schoolboy is so much frustrated, he's in anger, and he's like, I'm not taking it anymore, okay? I'm fed up of it. So he says, for the society or the parents or the heads of the family, that he cannot anymore take the concrete way of education which is inside the bars of the school, okay? So he says, how can I be joyful? Okay, how can I be joyful? How can I enjoy when you put me inside the bars? And how, or the summer fruits appear? So when you uproot the plant, when you take off the plant from the soil, how can it give you fruits? How can you give you flowers? So basically he is telling, when you pluck the plant from the soil, how can you expect the plant to give you fruits, vegetables, or flowers? Similarly, when you uproot me from the nature, when you uproot me from the normal happiness and joyful that the child has to go through, how can you expect me to flourish, bloom? How can you expect me to grow? So that's what he's telling. And or how shall we gather what griefs destroy? So yes, this basic, this education system, this concrete way of education, this infrastructure which is built for the children, okay? So when these things, the school, the classes, the boring lectures, and the books, the bookish knowledge, so all this has destroyed our childhood. So will we get our childhood days back? No. And can we enjoy those days now? No. So you have destroyed our childhood days, and which will never come back into our life. So at least now let me enjoy, let me flourish, let me bloom. That is what the the schoolboy here is telling. Or bless the mellowing year. So he says, like, now I have made you understood that how the concrete way of education is destroying the children's happiness, joy, and the peace and the knowledge which they can earn or learn from the nature. Okay, so he says how all these things are destroyed because of this education system. Okay, and when the blasts of winter appear, so don't expect anything when the winter comes if you have destroyed the roots before. Okay, so don't expect me to flourish or bloom when you have uprooted me, when you have plucked me in the childhood. Okay, so that's what he is trying to tell here. So yeah, so in the sixth para, he says that if care and concern rule over plants, like if you care and concern rule over the plants, flowers, and birds, such a summer will be dry and will bear no fruit. So if you have plucked out, if you are nipped the blooming plants and blooming child, okay, so there'll be no fruit. The child inquires his parents as to how they can win back what pain sadness has destroyed. So he says how the child inquires, the child questions them. See, now I have lost my childhood, so can you get me that back? Can I get that back, that pace? Okay, so if the plants perish or dry up due to the pain and sorrow, no fruit will be there in the season of autumn. So the mellowing year, in the fourth line, mellowing year is autumn. So if the plants are plucked out, if it is uprooted, and if it is in pain and sorrow, how can it bear fruit? There will be no fruit in the mellowing year, in the autumn. Okay, so this implies that if childhood pleasures are restricted, see, if the childhood is a very good base for everyone, and this implies that childhood pleasures and joys, if they are restricted, one has to be very sure that the adult life will be very absolutely dry and unproductive. So if the pleasures and joys of childhood are not experienced, the adult life will be really boring, really dry, and unproductive. There is no usefulness when you are adult. Okay, so theme of the Schoolboy by William Blake. So theme refers to the main idea. So the main idea which is discussed in the poem, here in this poem, The Schoolboy, the main idea which is discussed is about sorrow. Sorrow is sadness. Okay, so how it is very sorrowful for the boy to attend the class and he is not able to enjoy the pleasures and joy amidst the nature. Okay, so the poem, The Schoolboy, discuss a boy repelling imprisonment at his school, his company from the animate objects of the summer morning, birds, flowers, etc., to the inactive object of his school is indeed matter of concern and grief. School life is in suffering for him. So he wants to have company with birds, flowers, animals, animate world. Okay, but he has to be in the school which is inactive, and it is a suffering for him to go to school. And the boy is feeling a summer festivity is countered by the terrifying out of the teacher that robs from him all his childhood happiness. So here the schoolboy says that the summer morning is like a festival. Okay, summer morning is like a festival, and the teacher robs all these things, all the pleasures, happiness, joy from the childhood. Okay, so school is nothing but a prison that negates that playful activity of childhood. The restriction of an imposed in a school forms a hurdle for the natural expression of creativity and fall on the essence of genuineness. So here the school plucks the creativity of the students, and it allows them to sit in the classroom and listen to the boring lectures. Okay, and yes, the children has to be playful, and they have to enjoy, they have to be joyful, and they have to learn amidst nature, they have to learn from the outside world. But this education system has been very concrete, where it is just a bookish knowledge, and it is just a theory. It has become like a theory. Okay, so we shall go through just the summary of the poem. So summary, you can just go through now, because you already know what is there in the poem. Okay, summary. The Schoolboy is a poem included in William Blake's collections of songs of innocence. So innocent schoolboy here is been going through a lot of things. Okay, so it is told from the perspective of a young boy going to school on a summer day. So we already know it is a poem about where the speaker is the school going boy in the summer day, summer morning. The boy loves summer mornings, but he has to go to school unwillingly. Okay, and he sits at his desk in the boredom and cannot pay any attention to the lesson in the classroom, because he wishes to play outside in the natural surroundings. It is very obvious that he doesn't want to sit in class, he doesn't want to listen to the boring lectures, he wants to play outside in the surrounding, in the environment. Okay, in the fourth stanza, the speaker asks, okay, how can the bird sing, a bird that is born for joy, sit in a cage and sing? And how can the child, when fears annoy, but droop in his tender twing, and forgets his youthful spring? So we have seen the fourth paragraph. Okay, so here the author has compared young children so full of energy and happiness to songbirds. So yes, we saw how the comparison was made between the birds and human beings, the school going boy, and who deserve to be free. So young children, schoolboy will be full of energy, happiness. Similarly, a bird which is born to be free and fly on the winds, but like songbirds, like the birds trapped in the cage, children are trapped in the classroom, cannot express themselves, cannot capitalize on all that excess energy, and therefore their potential get wasted. So since they are trapped inside the classroom, okay, so then they are not able to express themselves. Okay, so then the last the last two stanzas says that it is like a warning for the parents. So, oh father and mother, if buds are nipped and the blossoms are blown away, and how shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer fruits appear? So the last two stanzas, that is, if children are stripped of their ability to play and have fun in the summer season, how shall they grow and develop to the fullest extent? So when you are uprooted, when you are stopped, when your creativity is plucked out at a very young age, at childhood, how can they be successful? How can they be expressive? Okay, how can they be happy? This poem is all about children to be children. Okay, allow them to play and run outside to experience the benefits of nature and of seasons. This practice is equally as beneficial to them as academic learning. So academic learning is important, but all other things are more important than academics. Okay, so to be children, to enjoy the benefits of nature, to learn from seasons, allow them to play, run outside. So this is how the children should be treated. Okay, so we shall stop here.